In the early 21st century, magic reawakened on Earth, and alongside it a new human race with orcs, elves, trolls, dwarves, and others. Humanity became meta-humanity. As technology proliferated and greatly advanced in the awakened world, global megacorporations seized ever more power, becoming de facto states with their own laws, courts, and armed forces. The corporations attempt to control all aspects of modern life. This has led to a vast and complex criminal underground which works for and against corporate interests. The independent career criminals who do what others can't or won't are called Shadowrunners. The year is 2101. Welcome to Fun City.
Previously on Fun City, the team accepts a run for Mo Ashina of Combinatorial Limited. The job? Frame Verne Sollix, the head liaison between the Police Benevolence Association and the city's Office of Collective Bargaining. Ashina claims Sollix is secretly architecting a strike in an attempt to extort the city or worse. The corps don't need the headache, so they've hired Combinatorial to architect a solution. Disgrace Sollix by showing him fraternizing with gang members. Combinatorial fabricated damning footage, but security specs require it include accurate biometric metadata. The team must 3D scan Verne, gather his fingerprints and iris, bake it into the footage, and plant it at City Archive, where it will be discovered by the B team. Sollix is giving a talk at a security conference in 24 hours. The plan is to arrive with a honeypot, something Verne cannot resist, in the form of an exhibitor booth, perhaps, thus giving them a chance to scan his giant body. We join the team now as they peruse the detailed dossier on Verne, which includes his highly regimented schedule. Their plan? Tail him for the day and see what they learn to inform the design of their honeypot.
So we look at the schedule and we see what do we want? We want times where he's alone.
We want everything. We want breakfast, lunch, dinner. We want exercise.
How does he shower?
How long does he sleep?
Maybe he can't resist a egg buffet.
And we got that egg specialty.
We can't get eggs, Lash.
No.
That's the worst thing you could do.
Let him go, Mike. Let him go. The Egg Council's going to buy $1 million worth of ads on this fucking show.
Hey.
Big egg, please.
But I think
Big egg!
Big egg.
I think that's a great idea. We need his full schedule.
So you guys have from Mo Ashina, you have where he lives, where he tends to go at every point during the day. You have about half an hour before some of that starts. And today is a full day where he's just going to go about his life. And then you have his schedule for tomorrow, which is different because it's the day of the conference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we only have 2 days, right?
You have today is your full day. Tomorrow is when he is giving his talk.
No, I mean to get the information back.
Once you have the information, once you have him scanned, you have to get it. Yeah, I guess if you miss him tomorrow, you have one full day to try to figure out some other
else.
Yeah.
And then Sunday it's due.
Sunday it has to be planted.
Sunday it has to be planted. Friday is the day of the conference. Today is Thursday.
Tell me if I'm wrong. You're going to go see what this man does throughout his day in order to see if you can learn something about him that will help you figure out what action to take on the day of the conference. So I just want to point out that that's tomorrow. It's like this is like cramming for the final.
Right.
Okay, great. Cool.
Okay, I was thinking, since my concealment worked pretty well the last time we worked together, I may try to summon another water spirit so that we can try to conceal our vehicle, at the very least. And is it true, Lash, that you have a chameleon suit?
I do.
Perhaps that will help you sneak around?
Yes. While we're also concealed in a vehicle, I can sneak out, also being concealed.
So the first two things on Sollix's agenda every day are he wakes up, leaves his building, and goes several blocks north to the Policeman's Athletic League, and he is scheduled to do that in, like I said, about half an hour. So you guys have half an hour. He doesn't live too far north of you. He lives on the Upper West Side.
What's the next thing? What's after that?
After Verne leaves the Police Athletic League, he always grabs a big breakfast shake and like a giant 1.5 size big gulp and a brick-sized protein bar at the Police Athletic League juice place called Carrots, Why Not? It's downstairs. After he grabs his brick-sized protein bar and his big gulp breakfast shake, an armored car carries him to the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association office, the PBA office.
It's also, since he's so big, Verne is, I believe, 8'10".
He's a big trolley boy.
And weighs almost 750 pounds. It's more of a bus than a car.
Yeah, an armored van with custo suspension. And that's where he works, at the PBA office. He works all day.
What does he do for lunch?
He eats in the cafeteria in the office.
And when does he get out?
When does he get out? That can vary anytime between 4:30 or 6:30, depending on traffic and how much he's done for the day or who he's going to meet afterwards. Although he doesn't do most of his meetings in person, usually after he works all day, eats lunch in the cafeteria, then he goes to have dinner at the diner on the same block as the PBA with his coworkers. They walk in, the bartender turns on whatever urban brawl game is playing at that time, wherever. They watch the game, he eats dinner with his buddies, and then he takes the same armored car back home to his house.
So it sounds like he's pretty protected. The only thing, you couldn't even snatch and grab him. You could only, maybe we couldn't even get into the gym, could we? We couldn't have Lash just sneak in and pretend to be a cop.
A treadmill.
So he watches an urban brawl game every day.
Mm-hmm.
Lash does have an urban brawl connection. So one of Lash's connection is a professional urban brawl. So if he's that could be your honeypot. If he's a huge fan.
That's a
True.
good honeypot.
Who's your connection?
His name's Bryce Bammer.
Bryce Bammer?
What team does he play for? Or does he play for a team?
He plays, he's a professional urban, and he plays for the Warrior Titans.
The Warrior Titans.
The blue team.
Yeah, they're infamously blue.
What city is that?
It's just all of the Southwest.
Oh, it's regional. It's a conference.
Yeah.
The Southwest Warrior Titans.
Yeah, Southwest Warrior Titans.
The blue team.
The blue team, also known as the blue team.
Or very big blue.
So
Big
I'm
blue.
gonna give you a chance to rethink that, because are you gonna fly him in the?
I mean, he might be in town. He might be in town
for a game.
For a game.
Just saying, it's more convenient if the Warrior Titans just happen to be located in New York City.
True.
But didn't he get traded? I thought he got traded
I
to.
almost forgot.
to the New York City Slashers.
Yeah, the New York City Slasher Bears.
Slasher Bears, yeah.
Big fans.
The baby blue team.
Everybody.
The baby blue team, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
Some would say teal.
It's a teal team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teal Team 6?
Okay.
New York City has one, but the Southwest just gets their team.
There's not as many
versus
cities anymore.
New York City. But
now he
mean,
plays for the Slasher Bears? Are you serious?
Yeah.
What luck. I mean, that's awesome.
But this is all I'm saying.
Okay. Is he cool? You think you could call in a favor?
Listen, he's really cool.
Okay.
We played Urban Brawl. We came up together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He just went for the big boys. I decided to start running. No big deal.
Sure. Yeah, everybody's career's good.
Call him up. Call him up. We'll walk in with him.
He could be a honey. We don't even know if he's a huge fan, though, of Urban Brawl. He could just be watching it with the boys.
He watches it every day. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got to be a fan.
Yeah, right. I mean, if we walk in with another big boy, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, well, I think we should definitely still stake out. Listen.
Yeah,
but maybe.
That's not until the end of the day. We still have the full day.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
stake him out.
Yeah.
All right. We'll follow him around. From his gym appointment to his PBA appointment. Before we leave, TK runs to get some donuts for the stakeout.
You guys gonna make sure you have stakeout appropriate snacks?
You gotta have snacks.
In the dinghy?
Well, no, in Henley the Bentley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
So you take the dinghy to the shore first, and then get in the car, make everybody wait by the river while you go get donuts.
they were getting ready. I was already in tactical gear.
I'm gonna allow also that at this point there is likely a floating donut purveyor, right? I
Yeah,
mean, why not?
TK just
Fiat
goes,
Luxe.
It's called, instead of Dunkin' Donuts, it's called floating donut.
we could still call it.
How would you not?
Sunken
No,
donut?
sorry, I'd rather for the worst ride. Thank you very much.
How do you not call it lifesavers?
Oh,
All right,
man.
any more?
Taylor,
Any more?
please award one of the NPCs an edge.
Dunkin' Donuts.
But the Wikipedia for this show really writes itself. We got
any
Deal
case-
Team 6 and Lifesavers.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so TK takes the dinghy out to Lifesavers, the floating donut place. That's all. It's the closest, but it also happens to be his favorite. And he brings back a box of donuts while everyone's still getting changed into their outerwear.
Because you're ready. Because tactical.
Because he's tactical.
Yeah.
Oh, Lifesavers! I wish we had floating donuts. That's my favorite brand.
Floating donuts. I can't believe that place went out of business.
Yeah, those donuts they were bad. More like sucking nuts, and that's it.
I mean, I agree with you, TK.
If I could charge you an edge, I would.
You can. Fiat sucks.
You got your donut.
Yay!
You have your donuts. You're gonna take Henley the Bentley.
We're taking Henley.
Okay. You get in Henley the Bentley, you go north about 10, 12 blocks to the location that you have on a map for Sollix's apartment building. It's in a part of the city where it's all of these very, very tall, very skinny buildings, and they all have a wrap around them that is a kind of video screen. And so this sort of lots of movement up in the sky, lots of dancing lights and advertisements. I imagine you park a couple blocks away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see that Sollix's building from where you are. There are 2 knight-errant armed guards out in front at all times, and it's a couple minutes before he is scheduled to meet some people just outside the front door, and you can see there's a small group of people hanging out. You can't tell immediately who it is that he's waiting for, but there are some people outside.
TK goes into VR.
You immediately see a kind of flat sea of icons for all of the nearby devices, some of which are cars, some of which are appliances in nearby apartments.
TK focuses on the group of people in front of the building. What does he see?
Do a matrix perception test.
2 hits. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, you can find some
Wait,
people aren't running silent.
Can I tell who they are?
No.
No.
They're just, you can tell they have some stuff on them. Comlink.
Okay.
Yeah.
I turn to Lash and I say, Lash, you want to take a look also?
Yeah, I do.
Which floor does he live on?
72nd floor.
I get 4.
So there's a group of 5 people standing out in front of the front door of this very tall, very skinny building. 2 of them are knight-errant security guards. 3 of them are appearing civilians. You can see that all of these people have comlinks on them. You don't see any kind of device signature, any kind of icon for the knight-errant security guards. You can see that one of the seeming civilians that's there has a smart gun on him that appears to be NYPD issue.
Got it.
Viv would like to assense the group.
Mm-hmm.
That is intuition plus
My
sensing skill plus.
It's your sensing skill plus intuition with an astral limit, which is your social or your mental limit, whichever is higher.
So I have a limit of 5. So that means I'm rolling 8, and I got 3 hits. When you're sensing, that usually tells us presence and location of any implants, whether any subjects that have essence of magic higher, lower, or equal to mine, whether any spirits or subjects have a higher force equal to my magic.
What you see in the scene in front of you is a bunch of boring, mundane bullshit. This is what New York City is like a lot of the time. Not a lot of magic users. Nah, typical.
Viv sort of exhales and says, nothing to worry about so far.
As Viv completes her assensing, the doors between the 2 knight-errant security guards open and out walks probably the largest troll you've ever seen.
TK says, big boy.
Luxe is looking at his donut, which is particularly big, and he kind of nods in agreement, and then he looks up, and then he realizes what he's talking about. And he's like, yes.
This is an 8-foot tall troll with enormous, massive, curling ram's horns coming off the side of his head.
Almost 9 feet tall.
Almost 9 feet tall with the horns. And, look, he's wearing a black armored suit, clearly very expensive because it looks nice. It's clearly weighted with armor, and it's sized for a troll, which always costs twice as much more. No tie though. It's just a simple white, open, throated white sort of Oxford shirt underneath this black armored suit. He's wearing one of those giant faced wristwatches, which is sort of tacky and hard to miss on even human-sized people, but on a troll, it's also been doubled up, twice as big, 4 times as expensive. You can almost read the time from here.
I like to imagine it's like a heavyweight belt, except it goes on his wrist.
It's enormous. I think a small human that hasn't been training would require 2 hands to lift it. But this is a watch that's clearly bought by someone who enjoys buying watches. Other than that, fairly simply dressed. The way he walks, you can almost tell that this is a person who other people perceive as high status, but himself is not trying to project anything other than a need to go and be about his business.
He nods to two people, starts talking to them, one of whom is the person that you figured out had a smart gun on them, and they start walking away from you up the block towards the Police Athletic League, which you know the location of.
Lux does a memory check to see if he was wearing the same watch in the photo they gave him to see how much of a connoisseur he is of like buying new watches.
Interesting. Well, let's find out. Yeah.
It is clearly the same watch.
Lux kind of thinks out loud, that's a very ostentatious watch. You may be interested in watches. It is the same watch that he was wearing before, so he might not be interested in new ones. But if we could think of a way to be selling wearable tech at the booth, maybe that's something we can consider.
TK says, all right, y'all, I'm going to try and place a mark on our boy Sollix, because if I get a mark, I can use Snoop and tap his comm, and then we can hear whatever he's saying to his buddies. Lash, you want to cover me?
Cover how?
Matrix shit, I don't know.
Lash was looking at a bird in a tree. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll just watch. All
right, I'm going to roll up Hack on the Fly.
Sounds good.
That is 9 dice, because it is my hacking skill, which is specialized in personas, plus I think it's my logic, yeah. So
roll it up.
That is 3 hits.
And Sollix will roll to counter that.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry. Verne has spent his money well on very highly rated devices.
TK, if we were to look at this in VR, we see a boxing glove clad man attempting to punch a force field towards the location of a retreating icon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're just out of reach.
TK says quietly, fuck that, and then eats a donut.
And just so you know, right, you failed an illegal action, which means you've incurred a little bit of an Overwatch score. So you're fine right now, but just be careful. All right, yeah, you're watching Sollix walk towards the Policeman's Athletic League, their gym, with 2 of his buddies.
And just to note, if we do have an issue with Overwatch score later on, I do have a residence. I have a complex.
Yeah, complex form.
I have a complex form that can veil our Overwatch score.
I don't think we need it yet.
I don't think so either.
But, yeah,
but in the future,
yeah.
when we start to really fuck shit up.
Assuming these rolls work out.
All right, what do you guys want to do?
I want to go see him in the locker room.
All right.
Do you want to take my chameleon suit? Or you want to just go to the locker room?
I want to go shower.
All right, you're going to get into the police academy? You better charm your little ass off.
I want to see if he needs extra time in the shower or bathroom or locker room because he's so big. And that could be a time where you can get him alone.
Sure, I'm not going to go to the locker room because Lash is like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to the locker room. No way.
I guess, how am I going to get into this place? This is all police. This is not, nobody's not a police here.
Even the employees?
Do you have a fake ID or something like that?
I have a lot of fake IDs. I don't have one as a police officer.
Yeah, well.
I mean, we could just go pull up to his house right now and see if we can get in there and snoop.
Well, we're at his house right now.
No, we're at
you're
gym.
You're like a block away from
yeah.
But the gym is also about a block away.
Well,
so
yeah. So
why don't we just go? Break
go
in.
Bug his place.
How about we split up?
We could split up. I'm staying in the car.
I'm going to go into his apartment with a chameleon suit. I'm going to slip in when someone walks in, again, slip in. And then if I have a problem getting up to the 72nd floor, I'll just hack the fucking elevator and get myself up there.
Yeah, cool. I'll be in the car assisting.
And then maybe you two should go hang out in the shower, Jim.
Because also you got all that water in the shower. You can probably do some shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hanley, can you put on some appropriately dramatic music?
that happens.
Okay, now that I'm in the right headspace, I'm wearing my tactical gear. I'm ready to go. So to recap, the plan is you and me, Lash, we're going to go to the building.
Check.
I'm staying in the car.
And I'll sneak upstairs any way I can. And I'm going to snoop the hell out of that place.
You're going to snoop the hell out of it? How hard are you going to snoop it?
Pretty hard.
Snoop it to the limit?
I would say pretty close, if not over it.
And you two,
Yes,
Viv and Luxe, you're going to the showers.
we're going straight to the showers.
Or at least we're going to try to tail him as far as we can.
And I think listen as much as you can.
Yes.
Maybe
Guys,
record.
You never know if you don't go.
remember, the whole point of all of this is to find the honeypot, all right? Tomorrow, we're going to try to strike by putting what he wants more than anything in front of his face, getting him over to the booth or wherever we are. If we can't get him to the booth, and get him measured and get him suckered and puckered, touched up, and ultimately framed.
You're obsessed with kissing everyone.
Okay, I'm
going to
kiss him in the showers. Let's go. Let's go do what we say we're going to do and break.
Okay,
Henley, roll out.
let's go. I'm gonna room raiders this shit.
Ooh, it's me, Taylor Moore, taking a break from playing all your favorite villains and rascals to remind you about Shaker and Spoon. It's a cocktail ingredient subscription box for $40 to $50 a month. Every month, they send you a box of everything you need. You just add liquor and you can make 12 incredible cocktails. We've tried it here in the studio and it is the real deal. This is high-level stuff. And if you go to shakerandspoon.com/funcity, you get $20 off your first month and you can cancel anytime. If you, like me, like to have a drink or the holidays are coming up, if you know someone who would like this, now's the time. shakerandspoon.com/funcity. Cheers.
Can we have team names? Can you guys be Team Pal?
Yes, we can be Team Pal.
And what are you guys?
Team Room Raiders. MTV.
Tomb Raiders.
Tomb Raiders.
No, Team Room Raiders better.
TOOM Raiders?
Yeah, MTV presents Team Room Raiders.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, we're
Taylor
team.
loves it. Taylor loves every name that you guys come up with.
Team,
It's his favorite part of the show.
He's done with his workout by now, and he's like, he's watching The View in the lobby while he sips his protein shake. His hair's drying.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sollix just now arrives a block and a half later to the Police Athletic League. You guys are gonna follow close behind him. Are you just you're gonna walk there?
Yeah, so.
Okay, so as you approach the Police Athletic League, it's a pretty big, sort of like regal almost stone building. It's got some pillars. It's got like a big arched window above the entryway that's extra large size because it has to accommodate everybody who's a member of the Police Athletic League. And Sollix is a pretty big guy. And you can see, it's basically a giant open room with a bunch of exercise equipment on the other side of two sets of double doors. There's a big desk about maybe 30 feet in front of you up a small flight of stairs, and there is a human just hanging out there.
Okay. Before we go in, I speak with Viv, and I say, look, I don't know how we're going to get in this place, but I know that, the actual police, administration headquarters is out. So if we're going to get any information about this guy, it'll probably be here, except for, obviously when he goes home tonight. You got any ideas?
Well, maybe you should use your strengths, and I can slip behind you.
Okay.
But if that doesn't work, we can look around the building and see if there are any stairs.
Sure.
And we can look through windows and I can still summon spirits through windows.
Okay.
As long as I can see.
Okay. Lux does a quick search that he wishes TK or Lash were here for.
We still have comlinks. You could just.
Okay, I'm going to
ask
tell
us
you
to
guys
do
to. Guys, can you look up the most obscure department of the police force that would still technically have access to PAL, but no way anybody there would ever know?
Talking about subway cops?
Basically, subway cops. Yeah, if you get even more obscure than that,
Archivists, the police archivists.
Aren't there like park people that technically have access? Like we keep the oak trees clean.
Cop marketing people?
Right.
Oh.
The cop marketers. Yeah,
You're dressed well enough.
I think you mean the cop librarians.
Could be the yeah.
Archivists.
yeah.
What does the Matrix say?
Well, let's see. So I'll do a search for the most obscure department of police.
Yeah, just do a Matrix search for me, and I'll tell you what you find.
Taylor, stop fucking spamming me.
I gave you two good ideas.
He said K9.
Give them to me,
He said
not to Bijan.
K9.
No.
He said K9 unit recruiter. People like the dogs. They know who those people are.
Okay. I just a guy with like
That's
a
so
fedora
good.
on with like a white suit jacket, watching a bunch of dogs play at a dog park. It's like that one's got the goods.
All right, I'm gonna roll up that Matrix search for most obscure police department or department of police. Rolling 8. 4 hits. No glitching.
You find that New York City has a very small fish and wildlife division, and that within the fish and wildlife division, there actually is a small set of critter specialists, like astral critters, and that on that team, there's actually, because of the amount of equipment that they need and the damage that critters sometimes cause, they need someone who does their books specifically, because it's actually a lot of work. So the fish and game department Critter Division has its own accountant.
Huh.
And that is maybe the
Yeah.
most obscure person.
Yeah, so I relay that information to Luxe and Viv. So I guess you could be the accountant and the assistant to the accountant?
What is it called again? It's the Critter Division?
The Critter Division of the Fish and Wildlife Division.
So mages control a lot of critters, so it makes sense that I would be with you.
Okay, so what Lux is going to do, he's going to whip up forge a couple of IDs. He's going to do a couple of quick searches and things to see something that's probable. So he's going to roll up a couple of IDs for Lux and Viv. And he gets 3 hits.
Describe the actions that you go through.
So-
Standing there on the sidewalk? Like, where are you?
Yeah, I'm on the sidewalk. I pull up a couple of papers. I have standard sort of little papers and kind of official looking document paper and things like that. And I kind of do my handiwork.
Can I make a suggestion
yes.
here?
My ideas are virtual, and I don't need to write this on paper.
Correct.
Yes. So that's what I meant to say. Because
he does it on
such an old
paper,
man.
and then he's like, "Oh shit, I don't know how to do it." Like this.
I usually do
Take a picture with your phone.
I do a draft on my own paper, and then I say this needs to be done on my comlink. And so, I have programs and stuff on my comlink that allow me to help with this. Lux is an expert at forgery and things like that. Usually, he has equipment back now on the egg lady that helps him in this process. There's some registry, some light registry things that help, and he's got people that he does little comms to and stuff that help set up little dupe things that it looks like if you do a quick search, it's like, oh, that is official because it's like in the Wikipedia of the time kind of type registries and things like that. So there's just different levels of when people try to do more advanced checks on things that Lux knows how to do. He can't really do all of that now. So what he can do is basically make sort of a virtual ID that can be assigned to like a face. When an ID reader reads a face, it can attach this. And it's really like the equivalent of in modern and today's times of showing a fake ID that you kind of buy from Texas. And it's fine if they don't really care and they could show that they looked at it and they're like, that looks like a real ID to me, and gives it back to you. But if they ever like looked into it or scanned it or anything like that, they'd be like, I'm sorry, we're having trouble finding that. Like, it would be, if they cared, it would be harder given that he's making it on the fly like this. I rolled 3, so I don't know what the universe feels about how good they are, but hopefully they're passable.
The person who you're going to show these to, like they're going to scan it with an RFID reader.
Right.
They're basically just going to roll to figure out whether or not they notice that it's fake.
Right.
You will roll against a combination of the person and their equipment,
Yeah.
and we'll just see how it goes. But
Okay, so I say, Viv, I think if they don't really care about IDs, these will work. Hopefully I'll be able to talk my way into it. I do need you to have a couple of critters that look like we can control to sell this maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
with that, to Team Room Raiders, what are y'all doing?
So I want to sneak in there on my chameleon suit. I think the best way, rather than me trying to get in with some kind of ID or anything, is just sneak in behind someone and hide myself. I'm running silent because I'm a human, right? Because I'm a technomancer. I don't have a comm link.
Oh, actually, I don't know.
I just go to my brain.
Let's.
Quiet down now.
No thoughts.
I just
I would
take a
like to-
benzodiazepine and I'm like, I'm running silent.
Can you get me?
You can
some-
switch your comlink, deck, other device, or persona, including your living persona, to silent running.
Okay, I
So-
think I should run silent.
So all that means is that, yeah, you are not immediately noticeable. People can still try very hard to see you, and if they do well, they'll succeed. You take a -2 dice penalty to all Matrix actions.
Yeah, I think worth it having you in the car. Worth it for me to run silent since I'll be
Yeah.
walking in there. We don't wanna-
I should also run silent, and I want to park around the block because it doesn't actually matter where we are.
You're gonna,
As long as we're reasonably close to each other.
yeah, you're gonna, especially because it's a high population density area, you're gonna run into a little bit more noise. But I'm gonna say it's just gonna be a factor of 1. So you'll be at a dice pool of
Excellent.
-3
Oh,
because if you're running silent,
fuck. Okay.
that's -2.
If there are a lot of people around, maybe I don't need to. Right? I say to Lash, if you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah.
Be safe out there.
So you see at the bottom of this very tall, very skinny building, like I said before, the 2 knight-errant security guards. There is a pretty steady stream because it's early morning and people are going out to get coffee and coming back, walking their dogs and coming back, et cetera, et cetera. There's a pretty steady stream of people coming and going. These 2 guards, they're both human. They're both 6 feet tall or so. They are fully outfitted. These are serious security guards. They're basically in like riot gear regalia, not messing around. But yeah, there's 2 of them. They're hanging out on either side of the door. Do you get close-ish to the building?
Yeah. Because I'm in my chameleon suit, so I'm like slowly creeping my way up.
Okay. In the lobby, you see there's a lot of like curved wood surfaces, lots of dark wooden floors, lots of gold trim, and you see just a giant hunk of lucite, a desk that's off to the left, and a very like bored, modest-looking woman is sitting there watching trids, and you can see that there is a little security, like a security camera. You know, whether it's a camera or an iris scanner, you can't exactly tell, but there's something there to check people in. And past her, down the hallway a little bit, you see a MAD scanner that you're very familiar with.
And what is a MAD scanner that I'm very familiar with?
The MAD scanner is the thing that you had to go through when you went to combinatorial. It's the thing that beeps in the presence of anything that it thinks is dangerous and also scans your sin.
Is there a way to enter it without going through the MAD scanner?
You can get into the lobby and you would be able to go several feet past where the bored receptionist is sitting basically watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to keep going into the building where you imagine the elevators are, you would have to go through the MAD scanner.
Okay.
It basically rings the opening to get further into the building.
Okay, that's okay, because maybe either we can hack that man's...
Spoof it, yeah.
Spoof it, or,
Can we spoof a sin to the MAD scanner? Because
You guys have fake sins. Each of you has...
if it beeps while there's no one there, it's going to look weird, right?
I can either take out all my weapons.
It'll still beep. It'll still look at your sin.
Oh.
Your ID, yeah.
Or I could, if it's truly being just watched by this receptionist, I could kind of like make an illusion that she sees nothing on her security footage.
Okay. Yeah, you could resonance that up.
Yeah, I go through, it does beep, but she doesn't, or it does make whatever on her screen, but
sure,
she doesn't see that.
To be clear, what you can see from where you are, which is you're still a little far away. I'm assuming you're not standing there between these 2 security guards, just sort of peer. I'm
people walking into me.
I don't want to have to make too many decisions for you, but I'm going to assume that you're at a safe distance. You can't really tell what she's looking at, but what you can tell for sure is that the trid that's on her desk is entertainment. It is not a security camera.
So she's not watching security somewhere else.
She's watching something for fun.
Okay.
She's not got her eye trained on, or at least as far as you can see, she doesn't have her eye trained on a bunch of security cameras.
Right.
She's just chilling out.
Alternatively, I can grapple the building to the 76th.
Let's not do that.
Lash is like, we could time me, see how. So I start walking closer to the building. I'm looking at the people who are walking inside the building. I try to see if there's anyone who's particularly maybe a little like disruptive, maybe a group of teens. Are there any groups of teens walking in?
Nah, because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, so
damn.
It's, yeah.
Teens, they can be real disruptive, and you can sneak in then.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The chameleon suit makes you basically invisible.
Yeah.
Someone has to pass a perception test in order to see you.
Right.
Okay.
So I look at who looks like they're walking in. Are there multiple people walking in right now?
Yeah, I would say if you wait a couple seconds, you see someone who catches the eye of one of the security guards as they're like maybe 15 feet away, and they wave, and the security guard nods at them back and like gives a little smile and waves back.
Right. What do they look like, this person?
It is a slightly older human woman who is wearing like sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and she is carrying some groceries.
Great. So I am going to get extremely close to her, but not close enough that she would hear me, or...
You're not going to breathe on the back of her neck.
I'm not going to breathe. No, not this time. And try to sneak in into the lobby.
Okay.
I roll sneaking, which is agility plus my sneaking skill, which is 8. And by 8, I mean it's 7 plus 2, which is 9, which 9. I got 2.
Okay, hold on. The old woman is gonna roll to notice you. She is quietly humming to herself. The old woman continues down the block as you trail her, and you can just hear her sort of quietly going.
And I enter into the lobby.
So now you're gonna have to pass 2 perception tests
Right.
for the two dudes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
You can re-roll if you want, or you can use the value that you just rolled.
Why not? Let's try this out.
Let's do it.
Praxis.
Rolling dice is praxis.
4.
Nice.
The security guard who waved at the old lady says, "Well, hello, Dorothy. It's nice to see you." And she says,
Oh, it's nice to see you.
"How was your trip to the grocery store this morning?
I didn't go.
Where'd you get those groceries?"
I just found some old soup I forgot I had.
"Have a nice day, Miss Swanson." And as you pass...
Dorothy.
As you pass
Mrs. Swanson.
through the closing doors, you hear
We're the same age.
the two security guards talk to one another about Miss Swanson. The other security guard looks at the first guy and says,
That soup sounded nice.
"What is wrong with you, man?
Dude, I'm sorry.
You know she's not well."
I do a good Dorothy. And once you know you can do something, it's hard not to do it.
It was pretty good. Dorothy waves politely to the woman who is sitting at the desk, who does not notice you one bit. She gives a polite wave, but basically doesn't take her eyes off of her trid.
Great. So I'm in the lobby.
You're in the lobby.
In the lobby, but in order to get to the elevators, I assume I have to go through the beep beep beepers,
Correct.
as I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, I am going to...
Mrs. Swanson is approaching the MAD scanner with the confidence of someone who knows that they have nothing to worry about. You are trailing closely behind her.
I'm going to just go for it and try to sneak in behind her.
As Mrs. Swanson goes through the MAD scanner, it beeps incredibly loudly and goes bright red, all at the LED readout at the top. And the very plain, previously very bored-looking woman who is sitting behind her trid screen taps a little bit on a keyboard that's set into the Lucite desk. And she rolls some dice, hold on. And says, "I'm sorry, Miss Swanson. It's been on the fritz for the last week. I'm sure you're fine. It's okay. It's probably just reacting to, I don't know, some of the soup that you brought. It's fine. Don't worry about it."
It's the soup?
It's probably the soup. I heard about the soup. It's who knows what it thinks the soup is.
People are talking about my soup?
There's been a lot of false
I
positives.
told one person.
It's fine. Just you're good. Don't worry about it. I reset.
Am I? Everyone's talking about my soup. Am I good?
The MAD scanner, the readout on the top that was flashing bright red returns to green, and the sounds stop. And what you see, now that you are slightly through the MAD scanner, is a bank of elevators that are labeled per floor. They're separated into segments. The closest elevator to you is for floors 1 through 20. The one that is just past that is for 21 through 40. The one that is closest to you on the right is 41 through 60, and then 61 through 75 is behind that one. Mrs. Swanson goes to the closest elevator bank to you.
So that's not to 75. I am going to send a message silently to TK, and I'm going to say, any chance you can get into this women's comlink and say, come to the 72nd floor.
You want me to ghost in the machine her?
Yeah, I want you to send her a message and say, soup party.
She goes to the closest elevator bank and pushes a button on the outside of it. It opens, and I'm assuming you're still invisible.
Mm-hmm.
She goes in, and you see her place her thumb on a pad and get her face close to the wall of the elevator. You hear a beep, and you hear a pleasant computerized voice on the inside say, "Welcome, Mrs. Swanson, taking you to the 14th floor."
I'm getting on that elevator with her.
You are on the elevator with Miss Swanson.
Great. At least 14th floor is a lot higher than the first floor.
You couldn't just wait near the 72nd and just get in that?
No,
when somebody
because
walked in?
listen, if I have to grapple, I have to grapple this building.
You couldn't just take the stairs.
Back to the Police Athletic League.
Lux turns to Viv and says, "So do you think you could whip up a couple of critters and we can have them as pets with us? And if things go wrong, I give you the signal. They get, they kind of scatter and we say, oh, sorry, we got to get these critters."
That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Viv sort of looks around the sidewalk and spots maybe a gutter with a little bit of water pooling in it.
Sure. Okay.
And she bends down a little bit, crinkling her nose, but waves her hands over it as she wants to summon a Force 2 spirit.
Okay. So you're not actually going to go get, right? Because like a critter is a thing that exists out in the world. They're animals, but they're astral. You're basically going to try to like
mimic
fool someone into thinking that a spirit that you've summoned is a critter, assuming that like they have no clue what's going on.
That's the plan.
All right.
Because there are humped horses that are critters, and she could make little baby ones.
I'm into it. This is fucking cool.
So Viv wants to summon Force 2 Nuggle. Do you know what a Nuggle is?
No, I do not know what a Nuggle is. Please tell me.
Nuggles are Nordic water horses. And so since it's a Force 2, it's going to be very small, and it will be a batch, just as acting as one entity. Tiny water horses that have the same brain.
That act as a flock.
As a flock, yeah.
Flock of
No way, really?
Well, Nuggles...
But you can do this, yeah.
It's just like a spirit. It's still a singular spirit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So cute.
I know.
Let me know what to roll for the spirit to resist.
So the spirit type will be water. Force is going to be very low. It's 2. So I'm rolling for my summoning skill plus magic, which is going to be 12. I'm not going to be taking advantage of the sea this time because I don't really have anything else to give up. So our roll is summoning plus magic for me versus the force of what I'm summoning, which is it's 2. So net hits will be services owed, and I rolled 5 hits.
The Nuggle rolled 0 hits.
And for drain, it's the spirit hits, so it was 0.
0.
So that times 2, so no drain.
Minimum 2.
Minimum 2?
So you have to resist a minimum of 2 stun damage.
Okay, yeah. Viv had 1 hit.
So you take 1 stun damage.
1 stun damage. The Nuggles owe us 5 services, and the first service is materialization, so people can see them. And out of the gutter, 3 little brown Nuggles appear. And Viv coos into their general direction. Come here, little galoops. She named them galoops.
And Lux goes, great.
Nice.
Viv, I love you. Okay, so your name is going to be Catherine O'Hara, and I'm going to be
Perfect.
G.G. Allen. And that's going to be our names. And that's what we're going to go by. Viv, if you want to let me do the talking, if the IDs, they don't like the IDs.
I will just make sure that our little Nuggles are creating as much trouble as possible.
You just, send the Nuggles around. We'll go to collect them and be like, I'm sorry, we thought that these were safe. We just caught them, but we'll be returning these to the wild. If the IDs work and everything, but I feel like things are going to be going downhill, I'll wink at you a bunch. If I ever start winking at you, release the Nuggles. You got that?
Sorry, was that an overreaction?
Really like those Nuggles, huh?
Was it the word wink next to the word Nuggle?
I'll follow your lead.
All right, let's kind of try to figure out what they're talking about. Maybe interests, anything we can get. I'll be recording on my comm. Let's do it. They walk in to PAL.
You see a single human receptionist / guard dressed as a normal New York City police officer, an NYPD Incorporated officer, and he does not acknowledge your presence at all. You can see that directly to the left of him is the main entrance into the workout room of the central largish workout room of the Police Athletic League, and there's a little RFID reader that will just scan your comlink as you walk past and either beep approvingly or honk aggressively if it doesn't like you.
So it looks like an automated kind of system. So I imagine that if we're registered properly, as I've tried to do with Wildlife and Fisheries in the duped ID way, that we could just go ahead and use these RFID type readers and walk in. So we go to do that.
There are basically going to be 2 tests that I'm going to make you pass.
Yes.
Each of you is going to have to pass an ID test, which is essentially just whether or not your forged IDs pass the system.
Okay.
And then you're going to try to pass through with the Nuggles.
Yes.
The receptionist is basically going to decide how they feel about that.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing we're going to do is they're going to roll to decide whether or not this is acceptable behavior and whether or not they care.
Okay.
As you walk in, the receptionist glances up from behind their desk and he looks at you, Viv, and looks at the Nuggles at your feet, and says, "I'm sorry. Only service animals are allowed.
Oh, but these are service animals.
I'm gonna need to see your documents."
I'm sorry, we're with the Wildlife and Fisheries Critters Division. Technically, given the arrangement with our department, all animals we work with are basically animals within our care and tenure. So legally, they are all treated as service.
Okay, fine. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, sorry. And we use the IDs.
Luxe gets through without a problem. The machine beeps happily. Viv gets through easily. The machine beeps happily. What you see in front of you at the top of the stairs on the other side of the receptionist desk is a long, tall room that is full of exercise equipment and metatypes of all kinds working out on stair machines, treadmills, you name it. Someone's running on it or punching it or lifting it, and you can see that there are various doors to various rooms lining the walls of this central area.
I look at Viv and I say, Catherine, you want to take a look around? I'm going to go to the little boy's room.
You can see that's clearly marked. It's towards the back and to the left.
Viv doesn't say anything, but controls the Nuggles so they run away from her, and she pretends to go chase after them.
Yeah, seemingly no one pays you any mind.
Great. So as Lux walks to the locker room, he's hoping that he'll be able to find the boys doing a little locker room chat, and he walks into the locker room and he takes a look around.
You hear a lot of commotion. There are a lot of dudes in here talking about various jobs that they're doing, talking about various cases that they're on. You hear, hoots and hollers, but you also hear the distant sounds of just, gym clamor. And over the top of the rows of old school square lockers, you do see a familiar mop of blonde hair with two giant horns on either side of it. And that is Severin, sort of half ducking underneath the slightly too low ceilings, even though they're 8.5 feet tall. He still doesn't fit.
Did you say Severin?
His full name is Severin, yeah.
Verne Sollix. Verne for short.
Lux approaches the locker closest to Sev and just starts listening.
Severin is not talking, but his friends are talking to him. And you can tell that they are trying to cheer him up. They are talking about the latest urban brawl to do. Urban brawl is this sort of capture the flag game with a ball that people try to get the ball on each other's bases, and it takes place in these sort of urban combat zones, and everybody's blowing each other up and cutting each other in half. And they're talking about whatever game has happened recently, or whatever team is on the outs of the league, whatever players have suddenly gone freelance, and doesn't seem to be having very much of an emotional effect on Verne. And you can tell that they can tell he's sad, and they're trying to cheer him up, and it is having no effect.
And they are in mid-dress, so it seems like they have wrapped up their workout and they are getting ready to egress.
Lux is sort of taking off his jacket and kind of putting it into the locker. And
you opened a locker? You just went to a random locker and opened it?
Yeah.
And it was empty?
Well, yeah, whichever one didn't have a lock on it that looked empty. Yeah, he opened that. Which one does he? What does he see when he opens the empty-looking locker?
Roll a d6.
Oh no.
5.
There's a handgun in there.
Take the gun.
Lux,
I don't say that.
Lux looks at the handgun, and he puts his jacket on top of it, and he's just like, well, hopefully nobody needs that. And he starts taking off his pants, and he's he kind of pretends. Well, he does overhear them, and he's like, "Oh, you guys talking about Urban Brawl?"
Yeah, they see you approach, they don't recognize you, and they say, yeah, we were talking about the game last night.
Oh, God. Do you guys have any money on that game?
They look around. Betting is still illegal, especially if you're on the staff of the NYPD Incorporated. And they say, no, and they wink at you, of course not. They all do this in unison. It's just sort of a hive mind of 4 dudes.
He says, do you guys know Bryce Bammer?
Personally? I mean, we don't know him, but yeah, of course.
You guys fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say. I actually happen to know him. Yeah. He's gonna be. He has friends and family in the department. Yeah. They won't say who it is, and I can't either. But he's gonna be at the conference tomorrow.
What do you mean? Bryce Bammer's going to be at the
They're
policeman and private security firm international expo?
Somebody's doing a raffle so that you could have dinner with him and then go out on his boat. Like, he's got this crazy like airplane boat. It's like insane. Like, I heard it's like the funnest fucking thing ever. Anyway, he's gonna be there. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get in. I don't know if you guys could get tickets or anything. That's why I'm.
As you're saying this, it's like you're hit by a train.
Yeah.
Like physically, you are lifted up off of your feet and you are slammed against the nearest wall.
Right.
By an orc who is wearing just a towel, and he's got you pinned up against the wall with the flat of one arm, and he's holding his towel with the other arm, and he shouts at you, "What the fuck are you trying to do?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. All the guys, everybody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You trying to steal my piece? What are you trying to do?"
What? I'm sorry. I was just using this locker.
What do you mean you're just using a lot? Is that your shit that's on top of my shit?
Oh, is this your locker? I'm so sorry. I didn't even.
You're so. What the fuck is this?
Hey, can you let up just a little bit?
Yo, Verne, do you know this guy?
A giant hand goes on the orc's shoulder, and Verne Sollix says, "You've got to calm down."
This is I gotta calm down. What's this guy doing in my? What do you?
I'm sorry. I'm G.G. Allen. I'm from the Wildlife and Fisheries Department.
This guy a friend of yours?
We're all friends.
Yeah.
We're all friends.
He backs off and lets you down.
Yeah.
From the wall.
Look, and I pick up my pants and my jacket, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even see that. We don't use those in Wildlife and Fisheries. We actually have spray nets.
He is watching you. He is watching everything you do very closely.
Yeah, if I'm sorry, I will just put these in another locker. I kind of look around a couple of other lockers to see if any of them are empty. Are any of them empty?
There's one that's empty.
I put them in empty. I'm like, sorry, I thought this was empty. I completely apologize.
You're lucky Verne was here.
Verne, is that your name? I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I'm Gigi.
Verne ignores you.
Okay.
And he turns to the orc who was lifting you up. He says, "Theodore, obviously this is the first day you can't be doing this too."
I mean, but you understand. You know why?
I understand.
Yeah.
How is he? How is Goya?
Listen, I don't want to talk. It's tough. It's tough.
I understand.
I don't know if what's happening or what's going on.
The orc puts his hand up and walks away.
Oh God.
Verne turns to the guys that he came back in with and says, "You see, this is what I'm talking about."
And Lux pretends that he's crying, and he goes up to them and he goes, "Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that was about, but I don't have a lot of friends in the city. I don't know if I should file a report that I was assaulted, and I don't want any problems for your department. I don't want any problems for your department, you know?"
Verne puts his big hand on your shoulder now, looks you dead in the eyes, and he's just towering over you, not wearing a lot of clothes.
Right. It's a big guy. Verne, thank you so much for helping me.
It's like, you ever heard the phrase barrel-chested?
Yes.
This man could have a barrel inside of his chest.
Right.
He says, "You have a good day at the gym, my friend."
Okay. Do you know if you could get me a ticket?
Enjoy sports? You enjoy sports?
Oh,
I see the German accent is developing.
I'm working on it, buddy.
I'm learning about sports. Actually,
Hold on. I'm learning about sports.
I'm learning about sports.
You know the one player, and you're learning about.
Yeah.
You know a famous player, and you're learning about sports.
Well, I mean, I know enough.
They have friends that aren't fucking sports people.
Hold on. While Lux is getting his bearings, what is Viv up to?
Yes.
Viv was pretend chasing the Nuggles around the gym. She made a loop to the ladies' locker room.
So this is basically you're doing the man kicks a hat to chase it thing, which is like you're making it look like they're going in a direction that you're not controlling, when in fact you're willing them around.
Exactly.
Okay.
And doesn't really see anything of interest at the women's locker room, so she makes her way toward the men's locker room, knowing that she cannot go in.
Magic users in NYPD are incredibly rare. So as you're sort of running around, I'm just going to roll for the number of people that see you as to whether or not they find this extremely suspicious and if it's worth their intervention. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Okay. Because it's like this is rare to begin with.
Yeah.
And then in NYPD midst, maybe extra rare because everybody's pretty mundane, unless they're a troll. You pass by a human on a treadmill, and he chuckles a little bit. You pass by an elf who is doing, what's the one where you push your arms together?
Something press.
Like
yes.
the lat press? No.
Lat press.
Can you tell that I go to gyms?
I'm learning sports.
Sports.
And he actually stops what he's doing and takes out a portion of his comm and takes a little video of you chasing these spirits around. And you pass by a woman who is hitting a punching bag, and she goes, "Aw." No one stops you.
Wonderful. Viv starts to move closer to the men's locker room, but finds a corner where she can stand still and disappear.
You nestle into a corner, and everybody is so delighted by what they've seen, they sort of settle into some good memories that they have of pets or critters that they've interacted with, and they don't see you slowly disappear into a corner. And the Nuggles, are they still around, or do they dissipate?
Their little neighs sort of trail off, but they sort of maybe form into a puddle very quietly.
Okay, back to learning about sports.
Verne has still got you by the shoulders, and he's looking at you, and you can see that he suddenly makes a decision. And he looks out over the locker room, and everyone's looking, because Theodore the Orc was yelling, and it was at you, and there was a gun in a locker, and now, yeah.
You hear light sobbing coming from the showers.
Severin looks out over the locker room, and everyone's kind of got their attention over towards y'all at this moment, and he says, "Now more than ever, we must stick together. Yes. We must stick together. No chant.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not starting a chant.
I didn't know. I knew.
No.
Yep.
Don't speak. Okay. Listen.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. Just imagine the guys from Three Amigos. No?
Chevy Chase?
The Germans?
Don't note me during the show.
All right.
My little new man. You want to go to the convention?
Yes, I would.
You want to see the Bammer?
Yes.
I'll give you a ticket to the convention.
No way.
Duh.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, thank you so much. What's, if you don't mind me asking, what's wrong with Theo? I don't want to piss him off if I ever run into him again. So anything I could do to avoid it.
Theo's partner is not himself anymore.
Oh, he's not himself. Jesus Christ. I know how that can be. Oh man, I wish I had more detail than that, but I can understand it's probably sensitive, and I will try to be very nice and respectful to him. You think that would help?
Don't put your pants on his gun.
I won't. Oh God, look. You think I meant to do that? I would never do that. Like I said, we don't use guns.
Pants, guns.
We use pants. We don't use guns. We have spray nets. We have bottles.
This is unnecessary detail. Dig up.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Do you have a ticket on you, or are you gonna?
I'll email you a ticket.
Okay. Great. So Luxe gives him an email that he can send this to via his comm link, and he's like, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Are you gonna be there?"
Sure.
Okay. I'll say hi. Thanks,
Verne.
You can. Thanks, Verne. I really appreciate it.
See? We stick together.
We stick together. Not again. No chant again this time. I think a chant's coming.
Chantless. They all exit.
Okay. So Luxe grabs his clothes, and he looks around, and he acts like he's too embarrassed to be there, and he kind of runs out whimpering a little bit.
As you leave, you see the man who checked you in walking towards the locker room, and he has this sort of tired look on his face, sort of irritated, and he sees you and he says, "Hey, you.
Yep.
I just checked. your division hasn't paid into the program in a year. You can't be here. You got to leave. You and your friend, wherever she went. And he starts looking around, trying to find out. The one with the whatever you call. Yeah. You got to talk to your supervisor, talk to your commanding officer, and if you want to use this, you got to come back and you get to pay into the system.
Okay. Is there a discounted rate for us?
What? No.
Do you know
Get
anything
out
about the rates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your pants on. Get out.
Okay.
Where's your friend? Find her.
Yep, Catherine. I'll get her. We'll figure this out. I'm sorry. I'll see you soon.
He walks away from you.
As soon as he walks away, Viv is literally like right next to Lux, and she appears. That was close.
I think.
You weren't scared by that?
Yes. So Lux jumps a bit, and he's like, Viv.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a d6. Okay, you're fine. No one sees you materialize.
Yeah. Viv, let's go. And they both walk out.
The elevator dings, and the door opens to reveal a very large, very plain apartment that is floor-to-ceiling windows. It's whole length, at least as far as you can see from the rear of the elevator. You also realize now that the elevator has 2 doors, and you realize that what Mrs. Swanson used when she got into the elevator was a combination thumbprint iris scanner. And that when she did that, it brought her right to her apartment, and the correct door opened. So there must be 2 apartments per floor. And she leaves the elevator, and the door starts closing.
Okay, I stay in the elevator.
Okay, the door closes, and the elevator remains where it is. It does not move for now.
Oh, great. I kind of message over to TK, and I say, if I'm in the elevator...
I think trapped.
What do you need? Didn't I tell you to not go in the one with the woman? I thought.
Yeah, but it just seemed like a great opportunity, and I didn't want to miss it, so I jumped in. But now so what I'm seeing right now is that the elevator, it takes you directly to the apartment. There's no hallway situation that I thought was.
These are rich people. You didn't.
Yeah, so I think we might have to be doing some. Yeah, we're a team here. Tomb Raiders.
Team Room Raiders. Sure.
Team Room Raiders.
Teamwork makes the...
Stop.
Okay.
We might have to kind of do something with these elevators to get me somewhere, but I have to be in a completely different bank, it seems like, to get to the right floor.
So you just fucked all of it up, huh?
Well, the good thing is if anyone from floor 0 to 20 gets in...
The elevator starts to move down.
Oh, sweet. I'm moving.
You get to the bottom floor, and the door opens, and you see a 30-something elf looking at a small, like, holographic screen in her hand, dressed, like she just came from the gym, like sort of steps into the elevator without looking up. And now's your moment if you want to leave.
I move out.
Can you just do a quick agility test for me, just to like squeeze by her expertly, and she's going to roll perception.
Basically, natural athlete, I get a +2 to athletics and gymnastics, but I didn't know if that...
I would allow you to use your gymnastics skill for this. That seems fair.
Okay, I got 2.
Please describe how you sidle past this woman as she enters her elevator, looking at her computer screen.
You said she's an elf?
Yeah, elf. Yep. Tall, very skinny lady.
Yes. So she takes a step open to get into the elevator, and I swoop in between her legs. I get really, really tiny skinny, and I swoop underneath her legs so quickly.
To be fair, her legs are very long.
They're very long.
She looks like she could be on the cover of Vogue.
Yes, and I sneak out, and I'm out into the elevator lobby once again.
TK asks, what's going on? You stop talking. What's happening?
I say, TK, I'm back in the lobby. I'm going to go over to the right elevator, and once I get in that elevator, I think we could hack it to make it go to the correct floor.
So you get over to the elevator. There's a very obvious button that you push to call it. I assume you push it.
No,
okay.
I don't push it because I'm going to try to get in there when someone else else walks in. But this is a waiting game. I say, hey, TK, does it look like anyone is walking in who like looks like they live up high?
Yeah, for sure. TK just says for sure and looks for another donut.
The universe delivers to you an overwhelming sense of confidence that you will not be visited upon by any ill fortune by pushing the button.
Okay, I press the button.
The door opens politely.
Get in the robot.
Okay.
Lash, get in the elevator.
All right, I'm in the elevator.
So you see the thumb pad and the eyeball scanner that you are familiar with from the other elevator. There are no other buttons other than an emergency call.
I tell TK, I think we might need to hack this elevator.
All right.
To get me to the floor. And while that happens, we just got to hack quietly.
Do you not have a control device complex form? Can't you just make a...
Yeah, I have a puppeteer control device.
That might kill her, though.
Oh, that's true.
The
Like straight
only
up.
downside is
because we could try to do this, but if we think the security rating on this elevator is pretty high, it's going to be hard for me to actually control it because it's an opposed test. Okay, TK, this elevator I'm on, it's
How rich does it look?
It looks pretty rich.
How many buttons does it have?
There is no buttons inside.
No
it's
buttons.
just a thumbprint and an eye scan, and it's smart enough to know based on that which door to open and which floor to go to.
I guess I'll search and see if there are any building plans on the Matrix that tell me any of the specifics of the elevators. Because it was probably a building that people knew about before. Let's see.
Roll it up for me. Yeah.
It looks like I got 4 hits.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
What's the device rating? Like, how hard would it be to break into this elevator?
So, weirdly, for how expensive it is, the device rating is pretty low. This is a...
Is it an older elevator?
How would you say this? The device rating of this elevator is 4. It does have some like low-level firewall stuff, but you're pretty confident that you could control it if you wanted to. It would be a little bit of work for you to get 3 marks on it, which is what you would need, I think, in order to...
Would I need 3 marks?
Believe you need 3 marks in order to control a device.
But what if I spoof the command of just going up?
Great.
Or I can, if it's not too high, I can puppeteer this guy real quick.
I mean, I think it'd be easier for me to just spoof a command to take you to the 72nd floor.
As long as it seems like the security isn't so high. So go ahead.
I also want to be clear, Lash, you have evaded every check by the security cameras.
Right.
They're trying to find you constantly.
Yeah.
And they're actually pretty good, and they've missed you every time.
Mm-hmm.
Lash, I figured out that the elevators are pretty old or something. They seem to be, that's where they skimped in this building construction.
Love it.
They seem real shitty. I think I can hack it.
Excellent.
I'm going to do some typing real fast.
Hack this shit.
So you successfully get 1 mark, and then you're going to spoof command. Can you tell us what spoof command does?
Yeah, spoof command is, all you do is you get to give a device or an agent a command as its owner. So I'm basically spoofing that I am the computer that is controlling this specific elevator. So I guess I'll come over to Lash again and say, all right, you said 72?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's right or left. Any chance we know on the schedule or in the info sheet?
You know what? Let's just go up there and figure it out.
Great.
Going up.
The elevator begins to move.
Really?
Wow.
International elevator song that plays
My
in
ears are
every
popping.
elevator. Roughly a minute later, the elevator comes to a slow stop.
Do any doors open?
No doors open.
All right, I'm just gonna pick a door. Which one do you think? What's your technomancer intuition telling you? Which door do you think it is?
I try to look through the doors and try to take a look and see what I see through the doors on both sides. And what do I see?
Through one of the doors, you see a lot of devices. You see a wirelessly connected record player. You see several televisions. You see a couple trids. You see a collection of comm links and a number of gaming systems. You also see a very serious security system. Through the other door, you don't see anything.
All right, I'm gonna
Tell me what did you see? What did you see?
I'm gonna say there's this door on the left has a ton of gadgets and it's got a pretty high tech security system. It looks like this other door doesn't have anything behind it. So
Let's do the one without anything behind it. Door number 2.
No anything behind it.
Yeah, that's 4 hits for that. For spoofing that command. Open the door that doesn't have anything behind it.
That door opens.
Yeah.
And you see directly in front of you before leaving the elevator,
Yeah.
a massive leather chair. It is the largest leather chair you have ever seen. And it is facing directly out, looking out over the city, these floor-to-ceiling windows that you recognize from Mrs. Swanson's apartment. And the leather chair is surrounded with piles of books that are very neatly organized. Some of them are on top of a small side table. The small side table also has a glass stein half full of yellow liquid. And you notice you can just barely make out that the books are in German.
Did I get it?
Well, it looks like a super German place, so
The elevator door starts to close.
I slide out and to get out in there.
Lash, did I get it? Was I right?
We're
You see any big shit? Any large? Because our man is very large.
Yeah, I see a big old leather chair and some German books.
Have you ever seen a movie where someone breaks into a place?
The door closes behind you, and you hear it whir away. Now that you're inside the apartment, to your left, you can see that there is a small kitchenette that is pushed up against the wall that you just passed through, and it looks like it's never been used. It looks like a brand new kitchen that no one has ever used. There's a small seating area, but then there's nothing in the apartment between the kitchen and these giant windows that look out into this grouping of video screen covered buildings. And then to the right of the giant chair, you see a normal sized upright piano that is very old and has a bunch of practice books and sheet music leaning up against it. It looks like it has traveled the world. It is very beaten up. The keys are very yellow. Some of them are broken in the middle, like the white fake ivory part is coming off. And up against that wall to your right, your immediate right, you see two doors. If you were to give the apartment a look through your natural AR vision, it doesn't seem like there's any security here.
Okay, I'm guessing the stuff is running on super silent in here.
In game terms, just so you know, because the system rolled so poorly, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like the mad scanner downstairs, it would appear as though Severin's personal security system is also on the fritz. So as you're sitting there, as you're standing there, you actually see in your AR vision all of the various security system elements that are in his apartment, like blinking on and off and showing up in your field of vision and then blinking away, glitching in and out of your view. And you see slowly, one by one, they all pop up with little errors. And they're all disconnected from the matrix as they all disappear.
Okay, I tell TK.
That was a very lucky roll.
Yeah, I tell TK.
Do we,
Remember when you were like, they are never, ever going to get into this building? And
Yeah, I said, why did you write this enormously long description of this apartment? Because they're never going to go.
I say to TK, I say, it looks like their toaster oven's broken.
TK says, is that code?
Yeah, their security sucks.
So we're calling them toaster ovens now?
Yeah, I thought it was a cute thing, like, I don't know.
Toaster oven, got it.
Thanks, TK. I'm gonna go snoop around this place.
so you have those two doors that you haven't been into. Is that where you're going to snoop?
I'm first going to go over to the chair and just take a look at what the title, it's in German, but like the title of the book, the first book that's there.
The books, can you read German?
Oh wait, I do have language skills. Let me see what I have. I have German 4. How lucky is that?
No way.
Whoa, holy shit.
Wow.
She has two, German and Hungarian. She happens to speak German
Wow.
I didn't know
at
this
a level
about you.
of 4.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
what you see are...
Insane.
I just picked 2.
Insane.
What you're saying is, Lash, sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Yeah. Sie sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch.
I am extremely impressed.
Ja, das stimmt.
Das stimmt.
Das ist gut.
Das ist gut.
Mein Freunde, das ist sehr gut. Mein Frage? No, that's not book. What's book?
Isn't it? I think it's Buch.
Buchen.
I think it's Buch.
Mein Buch. What's
Buchen would be
Frage?
books.
Is that a
Mein,
name?
ja, Buchen, Buch.
Mein Buchchen ist sehr gut. Ja, das macht sehr Spaß.
You see a bunch of books about the history of Bavaria and like old books on the history of the German people, and also some like German translations and also original German manuscripts of like old science fiction and fantasy classics. You're pretty sure you see like maybe there's like a Silmarillion in there, something like that. Maybe like a Stanislaus Lem essay short story collection translated to German, all just sort of stacked up there. Some of it's like easy stuff like coffee table books, mostly pictures, you know. Some of it is thicker stuff. Some of it bought vintage at used bookstores. Some of it looks like it's fresh off one of the rare like paper presses still left in like the city or something like that.
And how many books are we talking here?
It's like there's like a sort of a half shelf and they're just sort of scattered around like someone's been thumbing through them.
You wouldn't say that he's maybe a collector of rare books.
No, these don't look rare. They just look like maybe he got some money and went on like a topical books like buying spree.
Okay, then I go, very interessante. I don't know if that is German.
It's not.
There's a lot of books about like pre-industrial German architecture and small town life.
I say interesting, and I walk over to one of the doors and walk through the one closest to the windows.
Do you want to do that or do you want me to do it?
Sure.
You go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You have found the bedroom.
Ooh.
The bed.
There's only one thing in this room, and it's a huge bed.
It's also worth, just to make it clear, the door that you just walked through also, giant.
Yes.
Huge door.
Sehr gross bed.
The bed is made. Not well. It's not hospital cornered, but he definitely like put the comforter back on.
I take a peek under the bed.
Clean.
I take a bed.
There's a Vroomba under there.
Oh God.
Once again, proud of you for not saying Neo Roomba.
Mm-hmm.
I look under the mattress.
Looks like a normal under mattress.
No.
Roll strength.
Roll strength.
Great. I wanted to roll strength.
900-pound mattress.
It's just 4. What is this gymnast?
No, this is just pure strength.
All right.
You know,
Unless you have a carrying item skill, which does exist.
No.
Ugh.
Okay, I got.
Not bad.
What is a hit? I can't even
You got
remember.
2 out of 4.
2 out of.
That is, no, you struggle to lift the largest mattress you've ever seen. It's also a double pillow top, reversible.
Oh,
You actually
boy.
think, you look up at the height of the ceilings and you wonder whether or not you could even flip this mattress in this room.
Yeah. Okay, so there's only a bed in there. I go, okay, this is a stinky room, and I go. I go.
There is another door to the, I guess it would be in the back. It would be on the other side of the room when you get in. There's another door that's closed.
Oh, like a closet looking thing.
You don't know.
Okay.
It's another huge door.
I'm gonna look in there.
Okay.
The smell hits you first.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's the other.
Nope.
She just went into
The closet.
the closet.
Door number 2.
The bathroom.
Oh,
Also, the smell hits me.
no, actually, the bathroom is very clean.
Oh.
I mean, this is a nice building. It's got automated, cleaning systems in the bathroom, and it's very easy to clean because this is a wet room. The whole room is the bathroom. There is an enormous toilet, and there's also a shower head and a drain in the floor. The whole room is a shower, or a toilet, depending on how you define it.
How damp is it?
It was used earlier this morning. But the heating and drying systems have taken care of most of it.
You can still smell some of the product in the air. It's
Yep.
it's kind of pleasant.
What soap brand are we talking?
Well, there's lots. Yeah, there's lots. There's a lot of different like unguents, lotions, shampoos,
Who
body
gives a
washes.
Lash is interested. I go.
Looking for that honey pot.
I say, yeah, I'm looking for a honey pot. Okay, I say, okay, let's go to the other room. Let's go to room number 2.
Oh, you don't want to find out more about his skincare routine? That's fine.
You know, I am, but I heard that the other room might be stinky.
You know what she likes.
So you walk out of the bathroom and through the bedroom, back out into the front sort of foyer hallway area. And when you open this this second door that is also quite large, you see that the room is completely dark. And if you fumble around to the left, you find a light and you flip it on. But yeah, when you open the door, immediately...
Glue, paint, solvents, sawdust, plastic.
So you flip on the light, and what you see...
There is a magnificent, extremely detailed miniature Bavarian town.
Oh boy.
It takes up
honey pot.
75% of the room. It begins on a flat built-out surface, a large table with a wide notch cut into its side, and continuing towards the wall on a gradual incline, where the village scene turns into a grassy mountainside covered in tiny trees, sheep, even little goats.
I quickly look at the Bavarian landscape, and I look to see if I can see if there's any kind of holes missing, if there looks like he's working on one part of it or anything like that.
Well, as you approach, you do see that there is a one part that's being worked on over by, like, on the other side of this little miniature town. There's a workbench, a small work table, above which is a set of shelves holding meticulously labeled boxes of materials. Various well-worn tools are pegged to the wall over there, and in a custom-made display to the left, you see 4 massive and seemingly mechanical wristwatches, all of which tick away at precisely the same time, down to the second hand, moving in sync. They all appear to be gold or some convincing substitute. The only discernible difference between them is the typeface of the numbers on their face, and one has an off-color crown. It is black to its watch's yellow shine.
What time is it reading?
What time is it during the day? It was about 9:30 now?
9:30?
9:30. So it's reading
9:29, 15 seconds, 16 seconds, 17 seconds.
I stopped reading the time.
TK radios and says, "What do you see up there? It's been a while. We don't know when he's coming back."
Wow, this guy is cool. Listen, he's got this little Bavarian village, and it is so cute, and I would love to play with it.
Any honeypots?
Yeah, I'm guessing this Bavarian village is the honeypot. This guy is freaky for Bavarian villages.
So you're saying we have to make a Bavarian? You know what? I don't even want to know.
You know what? I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it down, and I'm gonna take a picture of these watches and send it to y'all, because there's these crazy ass watches in the corner that are ticking away. Oh, look at he's got so many interesting details here. Okay, and I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna say, okay, I think that's all. You want me to check the kitchen?
No. No one has anything interesting in those kitchens.
Okay.
It's a kitchenette, right? It's not even a kitchen.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing any kind of office or anything where he keeps files or anything like that, so nothing else.
There's paper. We don't use paper.
You know, Luxe is using paper all the time.
He's so fucking weird. Sometimes.
I'm gonna head on down, so I'm gonna need you to spoof
All right.
this elevator.
Calling them Vaders now?
Yeah.
3 hits?
You succeed.
All right. Come back to the roof, Condor.
I come on down. Now I just have to get out.
You ride the elevator all the way back down to the ground floor, and it dings open. When you arrive in the elevator lobby, you don't see anyone there. No one sees you. You turn the corner, and you see the same mad scanner with the disinterested woman watching her trid screen on the other side of it. What do you want to do?
This is what I'm thinking. I'm extremely fast runner, and I'm in my chameleon suit. I think even if the thing goes off, I just sprint on out of there.
What about the guards? Why don't you wait till somebody walks out? Because it's 9:30. People still getting breakfast, probably commuting to work because these are rich people.
Okay.
You could just wait to see if there's maybe a couple people. But, wait 10 minutes. If nobody's coming, then just sprint. We got to be careful.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you how fast I could run to the car, okay?
Yeah, 2.3 boat lengths a second. Yeah, we know.
Yes. Okay, sure. I guess I can be prudent
And by
wait.
boat, I mean dinghy.
It's a weird time in the morning. Everyone who has to be at work by 9 or 10 has already left. And everybody who hasn't left their apartment by now is probably working from home. It's not yet lunchtime, so there aren't any delivery people coming. The mail in this neighborhood comes pretty late. So you sit in the lobby for a little while, and there isn't a lot of coming and going. No one comes.
TK, can I please try to run?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
You book it through the mad scanner, and it beeps vigorously. It turns bright red. The woman sitting at the desk at her trid rolls her eyes, taps a little bit more on her keyboard, and it quiets itself, and she goes back to watching her stories. You see the 2 men who abut either side of the door. You see the 2 men on either side of the exit talking to one another. They're both looking at each other, and they're having a quiet conversation that you just barely start to hear as you approach. And as you get within a foot of them, they laugh at one another, and they go for a fist pound. right at your midsection, which I'm going to allow you a gymnastics roll to attempt to slide under.
Okay.
One of them rolled well enough that he has an opportunity to see you, but not so well that he definitely crushed it. So I'm going to let you, if you have a chance to evade.
So I'm doing a gymnastics
You're
test.
doing a gymnastics test, and I'm going to say that you have to get 3 because this is happening at light speed, and this happens right in front of you. You have a split second to react.
Okay, luckily I get to roll 12s.
Jesus.
I hope you succeed, but you fail because you go clam flip out loud.
Clam flip!
Okay, I got 6 hits.
Holy! Not only will I allow you to describe how you slide underneath this sudden fist bump that happens, I will also let you tell me what conversation they are having.
Yeah. Okay. So what they're having is one of the guards is talking about how he thinks he should try his hand at stand-up comedy because he's really good at impressions, and the other guy's like, I think you should go for it. I mean, you only got one life to live. I heard the scene's really hot right now. And he's going, thanks, man, for always supporting me. And they go to make the fist bump. I touch the butt of one of the guards, which causes him to take his fist back so I can sneak under. And I'm running multiple boat lanes per minute.
So wait, what I'm picturing is like you drop to your knees and slide, and as you're doing that, you poke a butt?
Yeah, I poke a butt, which makes him pull back like, whoa.
Quick oil check.
Yeah.
You are outside on the sidewalk, and the 2 guards continue their conversation, encouraging one another to follow their dreams.
Yep.
No one on the street sees you.
I'm still around the corner. I don't know what's going on.
I tell TK, hey, all's clear.
I just share my location. I don't say anything.
And cut back to Viv and Luxe. You guys are...
Making our way out of the building. Viv is making the little Nuggles run ahead. We are making our way hastily out of the building as we were kicked out for not paying dues. Shall we regroup?
Yes. So they just walk back towards the location where TK sent, and they meet up with the other 2.
As you guys are leaving the Police Athletic League, you see to the left a very large car pulls up, and a very large troll gets into it, and it takes off down the street and drives away from the direction that you are heading back to Henley the Bentley.
Should we make haste and try to follow them?
Yeah, we know where he's going.
Yeah. Did you guys get anything for the old HP?
This dude is majorly into Bavaria.
Okay, what does that mean?
I mean, you ever see a tiny, tiny little village?
Oh, shit. And then Lux just looked at the picture on his comlink.
Yeah.
I just saw one just now, yeah.
There's a whole room full of tiny, tiny village
Holy.
of Bavaria.
So,
It's never the ones you think.
I think we're going to call this one Operation Bavarian Honey.
Yes.
Viv wants to see too, so she pulls out her broken starfish. Oh, it's quite lovely actually.
It's gorgeous.
I can't believe no one saw any of us. I mean, not me, because I was in the car the whole time.
They see you two?
Yeah, they just thought we worked for the critter department. Anyway, are these watches in the background as well?
Yeah, do you recognize them?
Do you recognize them? Yeah.
I said that first.
Do you?
Stop copying me.
Yeah. I'm
Jinx.
in the same body pose as TK.
I love it.
TK just doesn't say anything and sets Henley to drive back to the Mrs. Egg.
No, I don't, but I have a friend who probably would actually recognize these. Okay, so do we think that we have enough to attract him to a booth, maybe with either a Bavarian village?
Does Bavaria have bees? Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad the answer
Did you do?
was yes.
I hope you did a matrix search before that to make sure that.
Do bees still
I'm
exist?
going to retcon that and say, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Have all the bee colonies collapsed?
Does Bavaria have fake bees?
No, the
Yes.
bees are doing okay, I think.
Oh, the
Yes.
bees are back. Oh, good.
In a
The
big
bees are
way.
back.
In a big way.
Too many bees.
Yeah, it's too many bees.
They're corporatized now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes.
Lux,
Bee Inc.
Talk about office drones.
Iris out. The team piles into Henley, which quietly whirs them away from the wealthy, yet crowded, ad-ridden environment of the Upper West Side. Mid-morning traffic has died down, and after passing lazily through 2 green-lit neighborhood security checkpoints, the car's navigation system takes the team to the West Side Highway. In the late morning sun, the monuments tower and glint, not too far south. Driving on the highway, one can see the large, thick panes of safety plastic that edge the outer bank of the superstructure, between the highway-adjacent green path and the Hudson River. They were installed by the city decades ago and bankrolled by Seder Krupp as a marketing initiative for their new line of, quote, structural plastics. This was back when the Upper West Side was a Seder Krupp zip code. Peering through the pristine windows of the car, and then the decades of graffiti, scratchiti, e-paper sticker bombs, and iridescent wheat pastes on the edge glass, you can just barely make out a few barges with modest stacks of cargo, and groupings of small homes and businesses floating in the Hudson. Holdouts who haven't made their way to the archipelago for whatever reason, living and working, literally, in the wake of corporate business. Henley parks, and the team boards the Mrs. Egg. They gather in the kitchen to discuss their next steps.
Lux, what did you learn in the locker room?
Verne is sending me an invitation to the event with a dupe email I sent him. Check that fake email account I set up so that he could send me that message, and I see if he did.
So just to be clear, you have multiple fake email addresses,
Yes.
right? And you're not going to give him...
No, not mine.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. It's actually part of just some of the automated software I use. It just automatically creates ways to contact these people,
You get like throwaway email
just
addresses.
throw away
that you
everything because, the direct nature of that's such part of your identity. It's
Forgery is your specialty.
Yeah. So, yes. I checked that email box, which has nothing else in it because I just made up Gigi Allen before going in, and I see if he sent me the invite to the event.
Gigi, guten Tag.
Oh, it's a video message, guys.
No, it's not. It's not a video message. It's not. It's textual.
It's just text.
It's textual.
Okay.
Dictated, not read.
Okay, dictated, not read.
Gigi, guten Tag. It's Gigi, G-I-G-I. Gigi. Gigi, guten Tag. So sorry about what happened in the... So sorry about what happened in the locker room today. The guys, they get rough. They get, we all have emotions, on the force. You've been on the force for a while. And time, I think, quit the stuff you said. Sorry, I'm rambling. Look, I'm finally kind of coming on into my accent, and I kind of want to play with it a little bit to get it right,
He sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger on email. I like
it's hard to come across.
Written like he's the Terminator.
Yes.
Anyway, here's a shit. Attached, you will find 2 tickets to the convention tomorrow, and also 2 VIP passes to my talk. So come backstage, and you can see me after my keynote address.
He actually sent me 2 VIP passes to actually see his talk and talk to him backstage afterwards. So I might be able to casually drop if he anyway, we'll be able to talk to him. He didn't see Viv, so it could be anybody else that goes with me, but I will have to go as Gigi.
What about, did you get any intel about Urban Brawl? Into it, not into it?
Well, I told him that Bryce was going to be there at the booth. I don't think he really cared that much. I think he likes Urban Brawl, but like he didn't, schoolgirl over it.
Right. Okay. Then that's, yeah.
So I'm guessing that, he's not going to want to hang out in his, I also said he had a plane boat, which I don't know if that makes sense, but.
You said Bryce had what?
A plane boat that you could go on with him. I said it was going to be part of a raffle. Like a lot of times at these booths, they have raffles. I thought, I don't know.
I can set this up with Bryce.
I know you can't. All right.
Set it up with Bryce.
No.
It doesn't have to be real.
Well, guess what, Lash? TK could set it up with Bryce.
What?
Don't you know Bryce? I don't know Bryce. You know Bryce.
I know Bryce.
I know. I'm just kidding. I was. I thought you
This week on the Thrilling Adventure Hour, who knows Bryce?
I thought you'd want to because TK was going to.
You can't trick me that easily.
I know. Okay. So Yeah, so at the very least we could speak with him backstage and stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, I think we got all the info we need. Do we need to try to follow him into work? I don't want to be the critter police again.
I don't want to do that.
Anything you want to do on the boat before you call it a day? Or do we want to...
I think we have enough stuff or information, like we have the watches, the Bavaria stuff, like all this information to kind of look through and figure out how the best way to use it.
So I guess let's work on creating a display, like a booth. And you, Lash, get in touch with Bryce.
Bryce? Are we still taking Bryce?
I don't know if we need Bryce anymore.
I think we can use Bryce as the demo man, because he's huge, right?
Next week on Thrilling Adventure Hour, do we need Bryce?
Okay.
Should we get a celebrity spokesperson to come by our booth at a convention? I can't imagine a pulp, hard-hitting noir story
Without
any more
it.
exciting.
Yeah.
We don't have. There's no.
I mean,
pulp.
it's Bryce or Bavarian Village, and
One is certainly easier to get than the other.
Sure. I can't think of two people I would trust less to build a really fine, delicate Bavarian village than you two.
What?
Love you to bits.
We have I have technology skills.
Why don't we use the instruments as they are intended so that he could make figurines of himself in the Bavarian village?
Oh,
love
that is
it.
a great
My
idea.
Shit.
Love
down.
it.
That is a good.
Oh my God.
Our booth, or it's not a booth, is creating 3D. It's like 3D printing things.
It's not a booth. We don't need a booth. He's just going with him.
We have an inn.
We have an in. So we're just going back and saying,
Bringing it with
I have. Why would you be there with this 3D printer? Is the question.
All you
Tech
have to
side.
say is it's a 3D scanner
For
that's
critters.
comprehensive, and you
Oh,
use
for
it to
critters.
generate. They use it for critters to generate models to study the critters. But you could probably use it for miniatures.
Here's what I think we could do. I have the inn to talk to him and gain his confidence. What if you guys did have a booth, whether it's part of the trade show or not, I don't know. And I talk to him, I casually slip in the thing, and I was like, I got a friend doing this, that, or other. And if this isn't a big thing of shame for him, and he happens to take the bait and mention the Bavarian village, I'd be like, I got a friend who could do perfect recreations of you doing activities. These things actually like move and they look like you in your village. Would you be interested in that or
Make
something
sure
like
you
that?
don't say that you know about his village, though. Before.
No. I know I have to give him bait for
Yeah.
him to
But you're-
walk into the conversation.
Yeah,
so that
give him
he-
bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lux, you should study up on Bavaria because you're gonna have to be doing most of the faking here.
Yeah.
We'll handle
It's just an easy lie for me. It's just a wildlife and fisheries critter department
Well-
guy
We
who's
should
an
make-
expert in Bavarian
we'll-
villages and making figurines with new technology.
Look-
It's something I did last week, I'm sure.
Look, you're very good. You're very good at lying.
okay.
I'm sure that it'll work.
All right.
And then Viv, why don't you go with him and do the critter thing again?
Why not?
It'll work twice.
Well,
Cops are stupid. A cab.
we're not going to be able to spell it out for him. What we hope is that he's going to be so interested in this that he's going to see this technology and the unbelievable ability to, I could offer to use it at him to show him how well it works and how quickly it works, and that he could in real time have little miniatures of himself, and he could see just how valuable, how great that would be for him to put in his little village. That's like what we're kind of hoping. I think.
Will you have miniatures on you?
Here's what I'm thinking is the Nuggles are already little models of bigger Nuggles, but because they're only class 2 spells, they look like perfect recreations of Nuggles, and like he's gonna be like, oh my God, I could have this realistic of a recreation of myself. Like these things have like, they look like exactly real Nuggles, but they're tiny.
There we go.
These will go away actually at sunset.
Damn it.
You could do it again.
I could do it again.
You could do this again. Well, this is a dry run.
If they're manifested, you can also scan them, right?
That's true.
All right.
We could make models of the Knuckles.
Yes.
But you could
Of
also
the
show
perfect Nuggles.
you could show them ones that are alive and say that this is what you could do.
Exactly. I mean, that would be
All
the
right.
promise that I think
Right.
would actually
That is what Viv will spend her time on.
Thank you,
And-
Viv.
In the
I know you get damaged every time you make Knuckles.
make more Nuggles.
She's bleeding from the ears. So I'll make more Knuckles.
I think another thing we should think about is how to get all this stuff past security at the actual.
Well, if he's VIP, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We just as long as we can make the tech look like not what it is. But
Oh,
we have time
This is
to.
going to be so great because we'll be able to tell him, like, you'll be able to command these things, and Viv, you'll be able to command the Nuggles. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I got to go find out about Bavaria.
You are now leaving Fun City. Thanks for listening. If you want to support the show, get access to ad-free, high-quality uploads, our Discord, Fun Chatty, our bi-weekly post-episode chat show, and, as of next week, our first patron-only adventure, a very Lash Black Friday. Head to patreon.com/FunCityVentures. And just a quick note on release schedule since the holidays are coming up. Next week, we will publish a very Lash Black Friday for Oh My Plus patrons. On December 6th, we'll publish the Fun Chatty for this episode for Chummer Plus patrons. And on December 13th, episode 8 is released, where the team confronts Verne at the International Policing and Security Professionals Trade and Labor Consortium annual exposition.
I'm Bijan Steven, and I am TK. You can find me online at Bijan Steven on Twitter, which is BIJANSTEPHEN, or on Instagram, and you should just Google that.
I'm Jen De La Vega. I am Viv. You can find me online at Randwiches. That's the word sandwiches, but just replace the S with an R.
This is Nick Guercio. I play Luxe Scythe. You can find me on Twitter at NGUERSH. And Instagram at NGuercio, GUERCIO.
This is Shannon Odell. I play Lash Goodbog. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shodell, SHODELL.
This is Taylor Moore, and I play all the bad boys. I'm at Taylor.biz.
My name is Mike Rugnetta. I am your GM. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mike Rugnetta. You can find the show on Twitter at Fun City Ventures. Fun City was recorded at Fortunate Horse in beautiful Greenpoint, Brooklyn. It was produced, edited, and sound designed by me, Mike Rugnetta. The show's music is by Sam Tyndall. Our art is by Tess Stone, and our Discord mods are Olivia Goulin, Kit, and Kestrel. The voice of Artemis is Molly Templeton.